Hey, what's up guys, it's Damien and I'm back for another video. So, you guys may or may not know, but I have a weird relationship with Apple. On one side, I think some of their products are pretty good, but on the other side, they're overpriced, and I think that Apple is a shady company. And this will probably prove my point that Apple is a shady company. So, you guys may or may not know, but I have an iPhone 5s, and a lot of people can't afford to buy these new iPhone 10s and 8 Pluses for, you know, thousands of dollars, and people can't afford to always buy a new phone every year, and so people have to stick with their old 5s, 6s, and even 4s. So when people do have older phones, right? And that's no problem, assuming that you don't mind having a slower experience, because yes, it has came out, Apple intentionally slow their phones in order to convince you to buy the newer phones. And this is very true because I have experience with this, and you guys will see everything. So CNET uploaded or published an article, and it says that Apple slows down older phones, and this is because of battery issues. So let me explain. So they go on to say, if you think your older iPhone seems to run more slowly, you are not crazy. Apple on Wednesday said a software feature released last year makes your phone operate more slowly to offset problems with its aging lithium-ion battery. As batteries get older, they don't hold their charge as well as newer batteries, and can have worse problems when the charge is low or the temperature is cold. The aging battery means your phone could have trouble operating or might unexpectedly shut down, as happened to the iPhone 6 and 6s last year. The processors in those devices wanted to hit faster speeds, but their batteries could not handle the demand, prompting some phones to simply switch themselves off. To address that, Apple iOS software, starting with last year's iOS 10.2.1, incorporated battery power management capabilities. The company said operating systems slows down your device to prevent it from shutting down. Apple says, but only in cases of cold temperature, a low battery charge, or very old batteries. Instead of your processor completing a task immediately, it will spread that out over more attempts to help manage the power consumption. You may be wondering why we can't get simply better batteries. So do consumer electronics companies, which have thrown millions of dollars at the problem, with very little to show for it. An advanced battery startup in California, NVIDIA Systems, a few years ago did some research and found that it took more than a decade, from 1995 to 2007, to double the energy stored in a battery, and since then it hasn't even risen by 30%. Meanwhile, smartphone users continue to look for ways to set things right when their batteries start wheezing and sputtering. Over on Reddit, for instance, the discussion has turned to whether it makes sense to replace an iPhone battery and how to do so and what consequences may there be. Apple's software from last year applied to this iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, 6s and 6s Plus and SE. This year's iOS 11.2 extended the feature to iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. It will be to apply to other Apple devices in the future. Apple said in a statement, "Our goal is to deliver the best experience for customers, which includes overall performance and prolonging the life of their devices. Lithium-ion batteries become less capable of supplying peak current demands when in cold conditions, have a low battery charge, or as they age over time, which can result in the device unexpectedly shutting down to protect its electronic components. Last year, we have released a feature for iPhone 6, 6s, and iPhone SE to smooth out the instantaneous peaks only when needed to prevent the device from unexpectedly shutting down when during these conditions. We've now extended that feature to iPhone 7 with the iOS 11.2 and plan to add support for other products in the future." So what does this mean? Apple is intentionally slowing down your battery, or intentionally slowing down your phone by these new iOS updates, and they said they're gonna add more support for other products in the future. So let's say this, you just got your new iPhone 8 Plus, for example. Let's just say you got your brand new iPhone 8 Plus, it's running smoothly. 2 years later, it's slowing down. You know why? Because of that new iOS update that now makes your phone slower. And from what I've heard, you could go to an Apple store, replace your battery, and supposedly it runs just like you got it in the beginning. But at this point, there's no point in going out and buying a whole new battery. See, I had an instance one time. Actually, this happens all the time. I have an iPhone 5S, okay? Now, this is a very older, much older phone than like a SE, or not SE, a 6 or 6 Plus. But this phone, I'm not even joking. I'm looking like on Reddit or something. I'm looking, my battery hits 20%. Boom, it closes itself. It crashes. Not even joking. It crashes. Apple, could you please please invest in better batteries, or just once people are gonna know. I feel like Apple purchases are gonna go lower, but guess what? Apple always has these revolutionary products, you know. It's like the same thing from last year, except maybe like 2 new features that prompts you to buy an $800 phone. But anyway, so this kind of came to mind with me because when I look at something and my battery was just 20%, it completely dies on me until I plug in the power charger, and then boom, it's at 5%. Like, what? Like, that confuses me. And I'm a more average consumer. I'm not a person that goes out to buy everything, but Apple has to fix this. Like, there's no way you guys could just get away with this. And speaking of getting away with this, Apple is getting sued. Oh boy, let's see what this is about. A article from The Guardian states Apple is facing lawsuits over the revelations that it intentionally slows down older iPhones without user consent. Apple has admitted to slowing down the iPhone 6, 6S, 7, and SE when their batteries are either old, cold, or have low charge to prevent abrupt shutdowns. 2 separate class action lawsuits were filed Thursday, brought by plaintiffs in California and Illinois, arguing that Apple did not have the consent to slow down their phones. 2 people from Chicago, along with residents of Ohio, Indiana, and North Carolina, claimed that Apple's iOS feature updates were fraudulently forcing iPhone owners to purchase the latest model offered by Apple. And okay, so I think this is very true, that they just slow down their phones just so you could buy the newest and greatest iPhone X for a whole $1,000, you know. And the only thing different from the 8 is that it has a different screen. But Apple has some issues now. I just want to see their stocks. Let's check out their stocks maybe. Apple stocks is down by 0.01%. Okay, whatever. That doesn't matter. I don't know if anyone really cares stocks about that much, but that doesn't really make a difference. But anyway, I think Apple is probably gonna lose this case because never have I heard that they actually have not. Like, I've never heard them say that, yes, you know what, we are intentionally slowing down our phones. And this is why my problem with this is my biggest problem with Apple. They're not transparent with their they're not transparent with their consumers and their customers. You guys have to know that there is a fight between Android and Apple, and honestly, Android is doing very well. That the Pixel 2 is doing pretty great. The Note 8 by Samsung is doing amazingly well. But this also ties in with the fact that Samsung, for example, back then they had replaceable batteries. So I remember they released a commercial saying, "Oh, you're on an airplane. Oh, your battery's low. Well, you're gonna have to charge it." But luckily for me, I have a Samsung phone with a replaceable back, and they replaced their battery and they had a full charge. So the fact that they're kind of like, you know, doing this too. I'm pretty sure Samsung is doing this too, but
yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. So it might be nice to own a jet plane. I'ma do it off with you. Come along and see it's true. But the road is pretty cold, you might need a sweater too. I'ma put a ride on ya. Kid from California, trying to make it in life.
For now, I'm gonna be posting more videos since this is the summer, not summer. What am I saying? Winter. This is winter vacation for me. I'll be trying to post as much more videos as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to slap a like on it, and peace out.